Park Board of Education meeting. This meeting is an open session of the Roselle Park Board of Education held under the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, the Union Leader, and the Home News Tribune. Go to call, please.
President Rinaldi.
Here.
Vice President Harm.
Here.
Mr. Balavans. Mr. Gerton.
Here.
Mr. Lineberger. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Nelson. Dr. Farrell. Ms. Sokol.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I open the public participation portion of our meeting. It is for questions on our agenda for this evening, only agenda items. Anyone with comment or a question, please come forward, use the microphone, state your name and address.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, viewing audience, members of the board, good evening. Could you please explain at number 14, what were the results?
Jake, as required by law, the Board of Education is required to either affirm, reject, or modify the harassment, intimidation, and bullying cases that I send to them. The information that's contained in those reports is confidential because they involve students. That's why they're identified only by case numbers. So unfortunately, the only thing that the board can tell you publicly is that they support my decision, they reject it, or they modify it based on case numbers or other non-identifying information.
Number 24, please explain the bylaws amendment.
Ms. Gershow, if you could give a synopsis, please.
New Jersey School Board's Insurance Group has made a few minor changes that we're approving, one of which is a minor change in the name. It will no longer be called New Jersey School Boards Association Insurance Group. They're dropping the word association. Another minor change is the procedure for nominating personnel. Instead of doing it, they're going to have a committee now who reviews and makes those recommendations. So it's just a few minor changes. And if you would like to see the full bylaw amendments, I would gladly provide that to you, Jesse.
What were the resolutions on protest?
There were no resolutions in closed session. There were no resolutions or action taken in closed session.
No action?
No.
Was there a closed session?
There was a closed session which included the topics exempted from the Open Public Meetings Act, which were student matters, as well as negotiations.
Was there an update on the early start of the learning plan?
My question to be yes later. This is for agenda items only.
I thought it was something about insurance. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Anyone else, please come forward, state your name and address and your question. none, I close the public participation portion of our meeting. Thank you. And we move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce this evening's host for the month of December. As you can see, we are housed in the high school, and here to welcome us is high school principal Sarah Costa.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the high school. Okay. Welcome to the high school. We have a wonderful group of students in the back of the room and also a special guest here this evening. So I would like to get right to introducing the students that are here with us. The students here tonight are all members of the Crisis Center staff, which is a wonderful organization led by Mrs. Bain and Mrs. Cazador this year that works to mediate situations, conflicts within the school that allows for administration to not have to settle conflicts between students, and students are learning skills to be able to mediate their own differences and to solve problems together with the help of these peer leaders. And I've been so impressed with the group that's here this evening, and I will introduce each of them to you. And just the climate that these young men and women give to the high school, they're so non-assuming. They speak to everyone and anyone. If they see a student that's having a rough time, they'll help them out. The other day, I saw a student sit down in the hall with a student that was just having a hard day. He was sitting down kind of off to the side, and one of the Crisis Center staff just sat down right next to him. Just very, very wonderfully talented leaders of the high school. And I'm also going to turn in a minute and let them talk a little bit about Lead for Diversity, which is another project that's led by 4 members of this year's Crisis Center staff. So I'd like to introduce the Crisis Center staff. I have certificates for all of you. I can do them that way, I guess. Okay. So I'll just open them up and call your name, and then if you just come and just stand right across the front. So Kelly Bolger. Bridget Mayorelli. Diana Montero. These are all juniors. Rachel Muka. Andrew Ojeda. Lisa Palacio. Hugo Gani. Ashley Nicole. And Kathy Zuck. And our seniors are Lisa Cora. David Del Rio. Kevin George. Erica Gutierrez. Jack Hubert. Bianca Ignacio. Renee Kachnowski. Natalie Lafano. Lisa Malave. Peter Roselle. Joyce DeSantis. Phil Louise. And Samantha Thomas. Each one of these students takes up one period of their schedule a day. Instead of having a study hall, as juniors are allowed to do, or an elective, they choose to be in the Crisis Center. They meet with students as they come in. They're wonderful about confidentiality, and they really do an excellent job of helping students be able to communicate with each other in a positive way. So thank you all for being here. Every single one of them came tonight, which is another true mark of the character of these young men and women. So thank you for being here, and you may just walk to the back. She's the president and CEO of the American Conference on Diversity, and Diane will be presenting the high school with an award. Not these specific students, but students that were involved in the same program last year.
Thank you so much. I'm going to step over here so I don't have my back to everyone. I'm so proud to be here. The work of the American Conference on Diversity really focuses on valuing diversity, educating and empowering leaders, and promoting respect. We do that in schools, in workplaces, and communities, and we do it all over the state of New Jersey and in fact regionally. And I'm so proud to be here because you have phenomenal teachers, leaders, principals, and students, as you can see. And our program is called Lead for Diversity. There's been a wonderful group of students. You're going to see a short video. I'd like to thank the principal for her support, the superintendent and the board for the commitment that it takes to provide leadership level students with the opportunity to learn what it means to value difference, to be able to lead in a diverse society. And in case you don't know it, by the most recent census, New Jersey is 40% diverse. We know you have a diverse school. We have a very diverse state. And in a very short period of time, we're going to be a society, including in New Jersey, that has no clear majority. So what does that mean for us to have a civil society, to have inclusive schools and inclusive communities? These are the people who are going to lead you, these students. They're your neighbors, your friends, perhaps your employees, if you own a business, your future teachers. And it's just a thrill to work with all of them. So I'd like to call up the advisors who really help keep things moving and have made quite a commitment over time. Mary, Tiffany, and Andrea, come up and please accept this. From the American Conference on Diversity, Excellence in Diversity and Innovation, presented to Roselle Park High School for creatively advancing diversity education and empowerment of youth leaders and students of Roselle Park High School, December 6, 2011. Great job. If you have time, do you want to do the video? This video was produced as part of a grant that we received from Comcast. And the challenge was for the teams of students from high schools all across the state to produce action plans when they leave the 6-day program in the summer, Lead for Diversity, and this has been going on for years, to come back and do an action plan in their school or community that's going to impact other than themselves. So what do 4 students do? They could possibly impact other people. Well, this is what your students did, and how it's pay it forward, carry it forward. Comcast gave us the money to give each school a flip camera and to document their action plan. So your advisors not only created the action plan, your students not only created the action plan and carried it through, but they produced this as well. So if you have a moment, there it is.
Lead for Diversity, the flagship program of the American Conference on Diversity's Youth Leadership Program, is a year-long commitment to personal growth, peer leadership development, and school improvement. In the summer of 2010, 29 high schools throughout New Jersey sent delegates to the Lead for Diversity summer experience. There, the students developed action plans that were implemented throughout the 2010-2011 school year and helped create inclusive school and neighborhood communities. It is estimated that these student-led action plans have impacted nearly 21,000 students throughout New Jersey. This is the story of one 2010 Lead for Diversity school, their delegates, and their action plan.
Hi, my name is Ramina Feller. I'm a student at Roselle Park High School. I attended LFD my junior year going to my senior year. That was the summer of 2010. And this year, our group did an action plan. LFD affected me in many ways. It made me become a better person. It opened up my eyes to society and how prejudice affects everybody. I feel like LFD influences everybody to be a better person and is definitely a positive experience for everybody.
Hi, my name is Andrea Suarez and I go to Roselle Park High School. I actually learned about Lead for Diversity freshman year when I saw a huge X Out day in my high school, and I thought that was amazing, and it was in the newspapers and everything. 2 years later, I became a junior, and I was really interested in becoming part of Lead for Diversity, and I actually became a delegate, and the experience was phenomenal. Because of my freshman year, I decided to do the same type of idea, but for underclassmen in the middle school, and every day I actually just keep getting like great comments about how great the action plan was. Due to Lead for Diversity, I became inspired to continue fighting for things like this, and I actually want to go to school for social justice issues. I also wanted to do something impactful for my community, and I was actually one of the people that did the action plan against the cuts that were towards our school. So that was something really great. Overall, I'm a senior now, and the experience has been so good that I've tried to recruit as many people as I can to do these action plans. I was part of an action plan this year, and it's something that really helps our community and really teaches people about things that society doesn't look at anymore, which is terrible. So that's my view on things like this.
Marcelo Fraca at Roselle Park High School. Be the change you wish to see in the world. If there's anything that LFD has taught me, is to reinforce that statement. Being involved in various action plans, having one of my own 2 years ago, and being involved in one this past year, I think it's made a positive influence in myself, because I now realize that to reinforce that statement, you have to be willing to give part of yourself back to the community, back to others, to really be the change, to really make it a better world or just community for the rest of us. LD has also taught me to be more confident in myself. I'm a now better public speaker and more confident person, so I think it's made me a better overall human being. I can also say that it's helped me deal with the daily, let's say, drama and situations that happen when you're in high school, by giving me a more level of understanding for other people as well as their experiences. I can't come up with words to describe what LFD has meant to me and the whole leadership program has meant to me. I think has been the most life-altering experience that I've ever had, and I wouldn't give anything in trade for it.
Hi, I'm Megan Botman. I'm from Roselle Park High School, and I went to LFD last year, 2010, first session. And what LFD means to me, it means the world to me. Going there, it was just great. I was inspired by the first action plan when I was a freshman to want to really get involved. And when I went this year, I found out about everybody else, and I found out most importantly about myself. And I wouldn't trade going to that great thing for the world. I would do it over again if I could. It's helped me be a better role model in my school. It's helped me know where I want to go and find more about myself and more about the people I know. So there's no words to really explain how much LFD has impacted me and how much it means to me.
My name is Quasi Bowen. I initially got interested in LFD from the action plan from the 2009 delegation, in which we went to the middle school here and basically read hate crime stories, and the following day we had a workshop about hate speech and bullycide. It was a great experience, and I felt like I really made a difference with kids, to show them from a young age how what we say, how we think, how what we do affects the lives of other people. So I applied to go to LFD in 2010, and I had a blast. And one memorable night we were at campfire that night, and Philip Handy said, I don't know who he quoted, but he quoted someone. He said, if LFD was a prerequisite for living, the world would be a better place. And I stand by that statement 100%. Since coming back from LFD, I've really been more aware of how what I say affects other people, and how it even affects me, being empathetic for other people. I think LFD has really impacted my life. It's really changed how I think and who I am. I can honestly say that I am a different person since going to LFD.
On April 18, 2011, Roselle Park High School's Lead for Diversity delegates, in conjunction with the American Conference on Diversity, held a school day-long program for RPHS students and educators. The program, There Is More to Me Than What You See, was the culmination of their LFD 2011 action plan.
Hi, my name is Mary Bauman, and this year I worked as the co-leader of peer leadership with Tiffany Bain, and we had 4 LFD children run a workshop on April 18th at the Church of Assumption in town. It was a wonderfully successful workshop. It was attended by about 125 students. Each of the students came for the entire day, and they engaged in a lot of different activities that were very reflective. And I know that the students afterwards had commented. I had one boy say that he had the best time of his life and he had never met nicer students, and he felt like he was part of the school. I had another girl say that for the first time in her life she actually felt like she was part of Roselle Park High School, and I think these things will have a very lasting effect not only on these children but all of the children that participated in the workshop. I really think the kids did a great job in organizing it along with Tiffany and I. I believe it was a wonderful experience for me. I've never been involved with students before on this level, and it was wonderful to see such a mature side of students and knowing that this is our future and that these are going to be future leaders in our community. And it was extremely heartwarming to see how they rose to the occasion, and they did a wonderful job then, and I assume they're going to take this with them and carry with the rest of their lives and kind of do a pay it forward thing. And I was just very excited to be a part of it, and I hope to be part of it again next year. Thank you.
When I came back from LFD, we wanted to put together a workshop very similar to LFD, and that's how we got these bricks here. Basically what we wanted to do is we wanted everyone to come up with their own little action plan to kind of pay it forward.
I'm Selena, and I resolved to stop using the word gay or retarded, and I have really cut back on that, and I found myself being a more open and accepting person because of what I learned there. I heard a lot of stories, and it was just really good.
Hi, I'm Nick Malbeck, and I'm a junior at Roselle Park High School. In April, we had a leadership workshop, and it made us realize that everyone else is just the same as us, and it kind of made us learn who everyone else is, and it gave us an eye-opening experience about getting to know people we don't really know.
Hi, I'm Nick Florio, art teacher in high school here at Roselle Park. I was in attendance at the League of Diversity workshop, Assumption Church, in April. It was a really wonderful experience for me. It's been a long time since I've been involved with the leadership program. I was asked to come back to work with the students. I found it very enriching, and it was nice to see the students sharing some of their thoughts And it's a great opportunity to get to know each other on a personal level. So my experience, again, wonderful. It's a great program.
Hello, my name is Nico Malave, and I went to the Leading for Diversity workshop. I could say it changed my outlook tremendously on topics such as sexism, racism, and prejudice in general. I would not spend the day any other way. I love it, and it changed my life.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Kems, and I participated in the Lead for Diversity all-day workshop. I went to it not knowing what to expect. As the day opened, there were these wonderful activities where everyone was welcomed, and I got to know students, and we were moving around, and I just felt like this is going to be a day where we're going to really get to know each other, and that's exactly what happened. We moved into small groups where groups really didn't know each other, but as it was so well structured but yet so comfortable that we were able to share things with each other that we normally wouldn't share. And as each activity progressed, it just made you feel more and more open, more and more understanding, more and more in touch with the differences that were in the room. And that's the part I love the best.
Hi, I'm Bianca, and I'm from Roselle Park High School. This year I had an opportunity to facilitate our Lead for Diversity action plan in our school. And I thought it was a really great opportunity because we learned that how our words can deeply affect others, and now we know like how we should watch our words before we say it.
My name is Samuel Nadaski, and I was lucky enough to be a facilitator at the Lead for Diversity workshop this year. And I was able to see how people came into the workshop and they were joking around, thought this was going to be like a fun day, and like how it hit them that this is like serious, and how they were like changed throughout the day, like they were more serious at the end, and that they wanted to change the way they were to make an impact on the way people are in our society.
Hi, my name is Allison Reiner, and I am a staff member at Roselle Park High School who participated in the Lead for Diversity's action plan, which was titled "There's More to Me Than What You See." And my favorite moment from the entire day was the small group work, which was led by two students. And what I found really fascinating about the small work group was how, as the day progressed, more and more of the students in my group felt comfortable opening up and discussing personal experiences that I think they held guarded for some time. And so it was really nice to see that through this action plan and through this day, they built relationships with peers and staff members and felt comfortable enough to divulge personal information. And I just think overall the day went very, very well.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah. And I'm Olivia. I recently attended the Lead for Diversity trip, and I can honestly say not only did it educate me, but made me aware of how people could really feel when people are being prejudiced or anything like that. So I'm happy I was part of their action plan.
When I went to the Lead for Diversity session, I learned that not to judge people and to always give people a chance, and how serious prejudice and racism and all that can be.
Hi, my name is Christian Jamadre, and I'm from Roselle Park High School. And the Lead for Diversity plan helped me understand how prejudice can really hurt people, and understand how to try and prevent it in not just my own life, but in the life and attitudes of others.
My name is Ellen Backert, and I am the Library Media Specialist here at Roselle Park High School. I had the pleasure to participate in the Lead for Diversity workshop, and it was a really eye-opening experience for me. I think the thing that really was surprising was what students felt that they were experiencing discrimination and bias in their daily lives, ones I wouldn't think, and the type of discrimination that they're feeling. Not the obvious things like race and sexism, but just other obscure little things that I might not have even paid attention to. So it was really good for me because it raised my awareness of things that I already knew about but need reminding of on a daily basis, I think, sometimes. And it was also interesting for me in the library, since I see all the students interact here and sometimes on a casual basis, that after the workshop it seems like there's a little carryover, maybe there's a little more acceptance, a little more courtesy to each other, and I just think that those kind of workshops help the students to be aware, raise their consciousness of these issues, and hopefully the results won't just last a couple of days, but will last them for a lifetime. So it was a really wonderful opportunity, and I'm glad I was part of it.
I'm Stella, I'm in the 11th grade.
I'm Ariana, I'm in the 10th grade.
And we both attended the LFD workshop this year.
And even though only 4 people go to camp every year, they come back and impact 120 students from our school.
And this year, I got to meet people that I never had the chance to speak to.
Like me.
Hi, my name is John Silverlight, a teacher here at Roselle Park High School. I attended the Lead for Diversity Action Plan back in April. It was a great workshop. I was very happy to be able to attend. I'm hoping to attend next year. What I got out of it, I got to work with students that I usually only see passing in the hallways. Some of these students really opened up. I thought the activities that we did were phenomenal. The staff members really got involved. The students, again, some of the students that I did know that usually are quiet were able to open up. I learned a great deal about the students, and I saw some changes once we got back. Some of the things that the students were saying seemed like the students that weren't able to attend, the students that were there were talking to them about some of the things that we discussed, and it really did. I thought, I was curious to see how it would go, if it would be something that lasted, and it was. I was very impressed. Overall, workshop was great, one of the best workshops I ever attended, and again, I'm really hoping to be part of it next year.
My name is Kevin George.
My name's Patel.
My name's Sam Canal.
My name's Natalie Lufano.
And we're juniors at Roselle Park High School.
The past year's LFD Action Plan has influenced each of us in a different way. For me, it's encouraged me to be a part of LFD and to look forward to next year's action plan. I hope that the 4 of us together create either just as good of an action plan as this year or even better.
The workshop has affected me in a positive way. It surprised me to hear different stories and feel different emotions that I've never really felt before. Everyone was really close, and we got really close with each other. The workshop has influenced me to attend Lead for Diversity in the summer, and I think it's going to affect me in a good way.
After going to last year's action plan, it made me want to further my education in social justice issues, and that's what's made me apply to LFD.
This year, I participated in an action plan that sparked my interest to join LFD. I'm really excited to go and share my knowledge with the rest of Roselle Park High School when I return.
We're the new LFD delegates for the 2011-2012 school year, and we hope to make a change.
As we carry through on the plan, as the delegates work with the plan, we're working with the middle school this year. We'll definitely keep you informed as to how it goes. And Roselle Park High School, we are one of the most wonderfully diverse high schools, I think, in the area, and it's just wonderful that our students celebrate that diversity. It's a wonderful thing. It prepares us, it prepares our students for the real world, and we care about each other here at the high school, and I'm proud to be the principal of such a caring group of students and teachers. So thank you all for your attendance.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Costa, and congratulations to all of the students, the ones not here that did the diversity planning and all. It was very interesting to watch and to know what you've done. All the crisis center counselors, please keep up the great work you do. I know in the past you've helped many, many students, and I'm sure you will do it in the future, so keep up that great work. And thank you for coming tonight, and congratulations to all of you. We're going to take a minute break right now in case any of the students would like to go, get homework and things to do, and then we will resume in just a moment. Thank you.
Anybody can stick around for pictures. We can go on my class.
That's okay.
Okay, we'll turn the meeting back over to the superintendent.
Was it something I said? Members of the board, audience, viewing public, at this time I would like to introduce a business acquaintance that I've known for a number of years who fulfills a very important role in Roselle Park. He is our insurance broker, someone that you may not have an opportunity to meet or talk to. This is the person, the company behind the scenes that helps Roselle Park effectuate the best possible deal when it comes to securing benefits for our employees. Rather than wait until the budget process is well underway, I thought it might be helpful to have Tony Ciardella from Brown & Brown come out and do a brief presentation to the Board of Education and public on the state of affairs in New Jersey with regard to health benefits and to answer some of your questions that you might have. So with that, I turn the program over to Tony Ciardella from Brown & Brown. You can just have a seat.
That's good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not as much noise in so you're good.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Tony Ciardella. I'm Vice President of Brown & Brown. We are the largest insurance broker in New Jersey for school boards and municipalities. We currently insure, as the broker, over 300 New Jersey school boards. So we have about 50% of the school boards in New Jersey that we personally market. We do collective bargaining. We do claims adjudication for your employees. We help out the business office whenever Sue or anybody has a problem or anyone comes to the business office. They go through my office. We have a team that's dedicated to Roselle Park that handles all of your claims, etc. Me, myself, I handle all of the renewal negotiations. I market the programs for all viable carriers in New Jersey doing public sector. Also get involved with the board attorney as far as any ideas regarding new plans that are out for collective bargaining purposes. And probably most importantly, which we'll look in here, is keep you abreast of any new developments as far as any state or federal laws that come into play. I put just a short folder together for you. In the folder will be basically just a state of the union as we stand now. The most important thing is on the right side. if you look at this piece of paper, this is very important to us. This is a document that I send over to Sue and Pat on a monthly basis, describing how the district is running from a claims perspective. Now, there is a direct correlation between your claims experience and what kind of renewal you can expect to receive in July. On this, you'll see not only a monthly total over here by month, but what we're really looking at over here on the right side is the rolling 12. The carrier, not only Horizon, with whom you're insured right now, but all of the carriers, Aetna, Cigna, AmeriHealth, Oxford, etc., who will be quoting on your group, will be looking at how you're doing over the most recent 12-month period. It's very important to them. We'll also look at years prior, but it's more important how you're doing recently. Because you could have had a couple sick people a couple years ago, they're no longer on the plan, that have gotten better, etc. So they're specifically looking at this rolling 12 total. If you look at that down at the loss ratio, you have 3 plans in effect. You have an indemnity plan, which is your traditional plan. That's running at 92%. And that means a claims to premium. Not great. Okay? And that will be dealt with in negotiations when we come up with our ideas regarding plan designs along with the board attorney. Your POS program is running wonderfully. POS is where a lot of the districts in New Jersey are going to as far as plan design. Point of service uses a slightly smaller network. It requires a primary care doctor. It requires referrals to see specialists in network. But at the same time, it also allows for out-of-network benefits at 70% coverage. So no one's ever without benefits. And that's running at 66.54%. You'll also have a prescription program that's tied into your medical, and your prescriptions are covered at a 20% copay on your traditional people. They won't pay whatever the drug is, they pay 20% of the pharmacy. Your POS people are paying just 10% copay at pharmacy. That plan is running exceptionally well at a 55% loss ratio, again, when you're comparing claims to premium. So overall, if you add up the premium, the plan is running at 74.68% over the most recent 12-month period, which ends October of 2011. Well, what does that mean? The average loss ratio for a school district in New Jersey is 80 to 82%. If you are running at average, you can expect what they call a medical inflation trend increase, which is approximately 12 to 13%. You are running significantly below that. So if you're running at 74.68% and the average is 80 to 82%, we're looking at another single-digit increase this year. If you recall last year, the increase was 9.46%. If this loss ratio stays as is over the next 6 months, when the renewal is calculated, we can expect something even slightly better than that. Okay? So we'll keep a close eye on the loss ratio. We will continue to forward this to Pat and Sue each month. But this is part of our job as a board, is to monitor claims experience and see if there's any aberration in any particular month. Now, to piggyback on that, staple to that is your high-level claims summary. This is important because we want to identify, not by name, because they have privacy laws, of course, but in summary form, if there are any high-level claims out there. Number one, because any claim over $100,000, the amount over $100,000 is written off on your renewal. That's important. So this first claim up here, $233,000, I already know if the renewal is calculated today, 133 out of the 233 will be breaking off of the renewal, therefore lowering the increase. But it also gives us an idea of how many people are in excess of $50,000. Now, in a group of almost 300 people, you only have 9, which is pretty much a little bit below average. So overall, you would expect anywhere from 9 to 15 people to have claims in excess of $50,000. Now, it sounds like a lot. It's really not nowadays. You go in for spinal surgery, you have a premature child, etc. This is $50,000 claim. It's not unheard of. So our job is, at the end of when we're negotiating the renewal, is to look on here, make sure they're calculating correctly, backing out these claims, and also under the guise of HIPAA, if there have been anybody that has left district, anyone that's passed away, etc., we will get a list from the board office. We do not get the names, we do not compare them to this. We simply provide them to Verizon, and they look at those people that have come off the plan versus these high-level claims to see if any further adjustments can be made. So again, very important high-level claimants that we also look at in addition to the claims. Any questions regarding the claims and how they impact?
One question, Tony, I know that comes up from the board, and this is a good time to use it, especially given that as of right now our claims experience is running better than average.
Yes.
Why can't we lock up our insurance right now? Why does it take so long? What goes into that? You know, briefly, if you could just explain to the board.
Absolutely. The renewal is done for July effective date. Your fiscal year, that's what, you know, runs July through June, as does your renewal, in order to be able to budget for your fiscal year. You cannot have any carrier or refuse to give any kind of renewal lock-in this far in advance of your renewal. We're right now in early December, so we're 8 months away from your July 1st renewal date. No carrier is going to lock in a renewal because that's 74% over the next 6 months. If they're going to calculate the renewal probably in April, when most carriers could get better. We hope it does. Could stay the same. That would be great. But it could also get worse. So no carrier is going to take a chance on looking at claims that are 7 months old when they don't do the renewals until April. And the same thing with each carrier which we market the plan to. They're not going to give you a rate for July 1st based on claims experience as of December, which really this report only goes through October. That's the most recent. So you'd be looking at claims that were 9 to 10 months old when you're looking at the renewal or looking at proposals. So it's a process, and they want the most recent available claims experience, typically through February or March. All of the carriers will give us their proposals, and Verizon will give us the renewal in March or April. Prior to that, what I will give to Sue and Pat is my best estimate based on my 20-some-odd years of experience doing this, a budget estimate. We'll do that usually in late January. I'll say based on your loss ratio, based on medical inflation trend, based on your plan designs, this is what you can expect, no worse than. We like to be conservative, so even if I think it's going to be 7%, we'll say 10%, just in case those last few months don't come in as well as we think they would. And we don't want to ever get in a situation where I tell Sue to budget 7% and the actual renewal comes in at 9 or 10 and you're scrambling for money.
So just to be clear, Tony, one of the concerns, believe it or not, that Roselle Park hears is that we budget 10% for health benefits, to use your numbers,
Yes.
and then in April we find out that, wow, we had a good experience and it's only going to be 7%. So that the board was attempting to be disingenuous with their budgeting of insurance monies. That is not the case, as you say, but we're strictly relying on your estimates at that particular time.
It comes down to three things. Number one, your claims experience. Number two, what we as the broker are able to negotiate with that particular carrier. And number three, the alternate proposals that we receive. If we get a proposal from Oxford, if Horizon's stuck at 10%, and we cannot, and we're able to negotiate that down to say 8%, but they won't come down from there, but all of a sudden Oxford or another carrier comes in at 6, and Horizon may take another look at your group and say, you know what, we're still making a little bit of money on it, and we don't want to lose a group that's running well, so we'll match Oxford's 6%. So it's not only, it's how you're running, how well we're able to negotiate as the broker, but also the wild card is where the alternate proposals come in. And we don't know any of that until April. So until April, the best we can do as the broker, or any broker, is give you our best estimate based on our experience in the marketplace and our experience with your district.
When do you actually send this out to the carriers for bids?
We usually send it out in early March because they want claims experience through February 28th. So that's what they look for. They do not like to look at claims experience unless it's at least through February. The farther out we go, the less competitive. Like if we sent it out now for July, everyone would apply the quote. If we sent it out in January and we had claims through December, we may get some quotes, but they would be so conservative because we're looking at claims that are at least 6 months old. So if we can get claims through February, that enables us to get figures to you for your budget, and at the same time, the most competitive rates possible, which is the bottom line. I would rather give you a 7% renewal using claims through February than a 10% renewal using claims through December or January.
How long of a turnaround time is it from in March when you give it to these various companies till they give you back a?
We usually give them a deadline. It's approximately 2 weeks. So depending on Sue's budget deadline, that's we kind of back into it from there. If our budget needs to be submitted to county by, let's use March 15th, we'll let them know that we need it prior to March 15th so I can get Sue to submit to the county. So we kind of back into it.
Anybody else have questions?
Okay. I won't take up a lot of your time, but that is important. This I will not go over every page of, I promise, but this is, has anyone heard of Chapter 78 law that Governor Christie enacted in June 28th? Okay. Okay. Basically, it's changing the landscape of public employee benefits in New Jersey. It is doing a couple of things which we'll go over. Again, we'll flip through this, we won't go to every point. But basically, it's using a sliding scale employee contributions for your employees. Once your contract is up, instead of paying 1.5% salary or paying nothing, they're going to pay a 4-year phased-in amount of the premium that's charged to the district. So what we like to call in the insurance business, they're going to have skin in the game. If you get a 20% renewal, well, they're contributing a portion, depending on where they fall in the salary guide, they're going to be contributing a portion of that. Now maybe 8% for the first year. Let's use a person who's making $50,000. It may be 8% the first year. It may be 12% the second year, 16% the third year, and 20% by year 4. So by the end of the 4-year phase-in, they're paying 20% of the district's premium. They're contributing 20%. That is a part of Chapter 78 law. And very important. Good for the board, because you're now going to get your employees, it's non-negotiable, it's not collectively bargained, it's a law. So you will now start getting increased once your contract expires you will start getting increased employee contributions from your employees over a 4-year period. It will increase incrementally over 4 years. At the end of the 4 years, it's back to collective bargaining, but you're starting at, say, let's use 20% for an average person contributing instead of starting at 0 where you probably have right now. So that's it. That is a main issue on that. If we flip the pages, again, just some of the big things. The State Health Benefits, SEHBP Plan Design Committee on page 5 just came out with the new State Health Benefits Program, which inexplicably offers 13 different programs. So that is not something that is administratively feasible for, I don't think it's feasible for the state to do it administratively, but it's not feasible for groups outside the state to do as well. Now, the state is requiring each group to pick at least 4 out of the 13 plans. So when we get going in negotiations, what I like to do is sit down with the attorney and start mimicking some of what the state is doing as far as the plan designs, because they do have some good ideas as far as the co-pays and what they're doing with a high deductible. Does anyone know what a high deductible health plan is, or the HSA? Okay, big in the private sector, non-existent in the public sector until this year. It is now part of the state plan effective January 1st of 2012. That is something that we should negotiate into Roselle Park's program, simply because it costs 20 to 25% less than your current traditional plan. And as these contributions phase in over 4 years, if I'm an employee that is relatively healthy, am I going to want to spend 20 or 25% of my premium that I'm contributing on this plan, a high deductible plan, or a plan that costs, say, 25% more than that? Well, if I'm relatively healthy, I don't want all this money taken out of my pay to pay for this rich traditional plan that I may not use. So we need to give your employees more options as the liability grows on their behalf as to their contributions. We want to give them more options. Obviously not 13, but it's not a bad idea to have 3 or 4 different options to fit them. And this will be done through negotiations. You're not in the state, you're not required to do this, but through negotiations, it would be a good thing to take a couple of those state options and mimic those, so you're giving your employees the option as these contributions grow of taking the Cadillac plan or taking maybe a high deductible health plan and or 2 things in the middle of that. So that's just something to think about for negotiations. Flexible spending accounts, we need to speak about that. I brought a flyer, we'll leave that for the end. Projected market impact is important. What is this going to do? More collaboration between yourselves and the union. Since they have skin in the game, they're going to want to have some more meetings. They want to make sure that the plans that are being offered, again, going back to what I said, they want to make sure that they have some low-cost options if it's coming out of, partially coming out of their pocket. We're going to see some new plans that we just talked about. The state came out with new plans. We're going to talk about the new plans for Roselle Park. One's called an exclusive provider organization. One's called a high deductible health plan with an HSA. So those things are going to come up through negotiation. So when you hear those terms, you'll know that those are things that the state did that I agree with should be part of Roselle Park's program. I'm not saying they have to duplicate everything the state does, but they do have some good ideas. We want to take their good ideas, use them, and take their bad ideas and let them have it. They lost $200 million in the past year for a reason. So we want to let them run their own plan, and we want to stick with the single-digit increases here. So We don't want to do everything, but we want to pick and choose your good ideas. Wellness campaigns. That's another thing I think we need to amp up here at the district. Wellness campaigns, good for your employees, also good for your claims experience. So if we can have the carrier come in and they'll do this for free, Eliza will come in, we'll do smoking cessation, we'll do diabetes testing, we'll do skin cancer screening. They'll come in and do all of this stuff for free for your employees. They'll do blood pressure screening, etc. They'll set up a day, you can do it on a meeting day, or tell the employees will be here on such and such a day after school, but we need to amp up the wellness campaigns. The carriers are now doing this for free. They used to charge for it. They've realized that they do work, they do keep claims down, and I feel it's important that we amp that up this year, since you wouldn't have to pay for it, the carrier would take on that cost. So let's do that this year. Okay. We talked about the high deductible health plans, the HSA. I won't bore you with this, but we'll talk about those through negotiations. And the last thing, the exclusive provider organizations, or EPO. That's Horizon's fastest growing product. You'll hear about that as well. So those are all of the things that are going on right now in the New Jersey public sector as far as benefits. So there will be a lot to do as far as negotiations. And I would appreciate being involved as much as possible, like I am at all my districts, in order to work with the board attorney to make sure that you're getting the best plans, not only for the short-term savings, but for the long-term claims experience and subsequent renewals that the board will receive. As I do every year, just to show you, this is what I put together for the board. This is our marketing report. This includes all of the claims. This includes all of our recommendations, etc. This is what I will be presenting prior to July, once all the marketing is in and everything else. So everyone has a record of what we've done, where the renewal came in, has a record of all the alternate proposals that we've received, etc., and all our recommendations.
Does any board member have any additional questions for Tony? Tony, thank you.
I'm sorry, Tony, we'll get a copy of that, you said?
Absolutely. And if you want one from last year, you're more than welcome to have it.
Actually, we have them in the office.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone ever wants a copy of them, Sue has a copy of them in the office.
So what I usually do is come back in, April or May, after the whole thing is done, present our findings, basically, for the year, and this will be an example of what we will present.
Can I get that electronic?
Sure.
Maybe you could just email it to Sue, this way if any other board members want it.
Absolutely. No problem. No problem. You want to talk about the FSA? You want to keep that separate? Flexible spending account?
We can save that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll save that for negotiations.
You got it.
Very good. Tony, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you coming in, and we look forward to hearing
Thank you.
those single-digit increases that you
keep
promised.
running well.
Thank you.
I'll add Jake, do you have a question?
Yes, while the gentleman is still here.
Sure.
Who is the carrier?
Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Horizon Blue Cross. Are you, is this Brown & Brown from Roselle Park?
No. We're Brown & Brown's a national company. We're the 7th largest broker in the United States.
All right, now back to...
We're located, our office is located in Murray Hill. My office in Union County.
Is this the same insurance company that we saved the X amount of dollars that was discussed last year?
Yes. This company, the broker was GreenSpec Consulting, and they were taken, this is the parent company, so this is the same insurance. Because of their efforts, we've been able to save the money in insurance through their efforts. That's correct.
What's the difference between the cost with the state of New Jersey health plan?
It's impossible to compare. We're comparing apples to oranges. The programs that you have right now, you have a traditional plan, and a point of service plan. The state has a menu of 13 different plans, so there's no way to compare the pricing on those. The benefits are completely different, and the pricing is completely different. And the state plan obviously would have to be collectively bargained, but given the poor financial condition of the state, Senate President Sweeney said the state plan is 40% underfunded and lost $200 billion last year. That would not be my recommendation, even if there was an apples to apples comparison that we could make, and even if your employees would agree to go into the lesser programs offered by the state. Again, we want to pick what's good about the state, which are some of their plan ideas, but you got to understand, under the state plan, you're in a giant pool, and your good claims experience is subsidizing all of the other groups that are running poorly, because everyone receives the same increase, and the plan is not underwritten on the way in. So you could be running at 150% loss ratio and go back to the state. They have to take you, they can't rank you up, and that's why it's running so poorly. It's the center of the core is the large urban districts, which is Newark, Camden, Patterson, Passaic, etc. In addition, a lot of the groups that have not run well with private carriers such as Horizon, Oxford, etc., that have run at 120, 130, 140% loss ratios, have had no choice but to go back to the state because they were getting 30, 40, 50% increase. So we call that in the business adverse selection. A poor that has not run well with not underwriting new groups coming in, it's a downward spiral of.
And in conclusion, if it's appropriate to ask, what is the brokerage fee?
3% is our commission. And Horizon, just so that everyone is aware, Horizon's standard broker commission is 3.5%. We agreed to take a reduced commission of 3%. We're taking less than the standard commission. And by the way Horizon, we love that pricing. Horizon is now giving broker commission only cost of living adjustments. So no matter what your increase is, say it's 10%, our commissions don't go up by 10%. Our commissions only go up by cost of living, which is you're down less than 1%. So as a percentage of premium, next year it will be less than 3%. And in 5 years, it will be less than 2%. So right now it's 3% when we negotiated it, but because of the cost of living adjustment, it will continue to go down every year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes Superintendent's report for this evening.
We will move on to the agenda. First on the agenda is personnel, and I would like a motion to move items 1 through 12. Number 1 being district substitutes, 2 leave of absence extension, 3 district retirement, 4 district resignation, 5 staff appointment, 6 salary adjustment, 7 extracurricular advisor stipend adjustment, 8 schedule change, 9 high school extracurricular coach, 10 extracurricular assignments, 11 basic skills Title I program, and 12 additional sections. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the agenda items 1 through 12.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any comment, Chris? Thank you. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Vice President Harms?
Yes.
Mr. Balaban? Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Lineberger? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson? Dr. Carell? Ms. Sokol?
Yes.
President Rinaldi?
Yes.
On roll call, motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are education items, number 13 through 15. 13 being educational trip request, 14, harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. 15, education programs. May I have a motion, please?
Madam President, I so move to pass 13, 14, and 15, items 13, 14, and 15.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All right. Thank you. Any comments or questions?
Just a comment, Madam President. Again, item number 14 is new as part of the HIB, or harassment, intimidation, and bullying requirements. Boards of education are required to either affirm, modify, or reject the superintendent's recommendations from the previous month. Since this is the first time we are doing this school year, the Board of Education will be affirming, modifying, or rejecting the superintendent's reports from September, October, and November. Thereafter, they will always do the previous month's bullying, harassment, intimidation cases.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have business, items 16 through 24. 16 being sick day bank, 17 monthly certification, 18 approval of minutes, 19 approval of bills, 20 approval of transfers, 21 grant application acceptance, 22 corrective action plan for year 2011, 23 use of buildings and grounds, 24 NJSBAIG bylaw amendments, and that is it.
President, I would add item 25 and 26, 25, the resolution, State Senate Bill 1872 and Assembly Bill 2810, and 26 resolution Senate Bill 2925 and Assembly Bill 4132.
Okay. Do I have a motion to now move items number 16 through 26?
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Chris, thank you. Chris, could we have you just give a brief explanation of number 25 and 26, the two new resolutions?
Absolutely. Let's start with the first resolution, seeking amendment to Senate Bill 2925, Assembly Bill 4132, that is to retain local school board and superintendent authority over personnel decisions. Under the current law and practice, school district hiring decisions are made upon the recommendation of the chief school administrator to the board, to the local board of education, and the hiring procedures leading up to the chief administrator's recommendation should be always, and we always consider it the perspective and view point of the school principals as well. Whereas the amendment that they have is involved in this Teach New Jersey Act. That would basically alter that. And what happens is it includes, it would diminish the involvement of the superintendent and our local board in personnel matters. And basically it would shift that onus onto a school improvement panel, which would consist of the instructional staff to the principal, and also the assistant principal and an instructional staff member nominated by the principal and approved by the staff. They would have the say over personnel decisions for hiring, and not superintendent and not the Board of Ed. And Roselle Park Board of Education urges the legislature to amend Bill 2925 and the Assembly Bill 4132 to ensure that personnel hiring and placement decisions remain under the authority of the district superintendent with the approval of the local Board of Education as it is currently. That is that first resolution. And the second one, the resolution is in opposition to the Senate Bill 1872 and the Assembly Bill 2810, the Opportunity Scholarship Act. And what that is, the Opportunity Scholarship Act would grant corporations tax credits for contributing to a program that issues education vouchers to certain students for use at any public or non-public school of their choice. During this 5 years. It's a pilot program for 5 years, and the child residing in one of the target districts in an underperforming school district may apply for the vouchers, and even if the student currently attends a school that is performing satisfactorily. Whereas 1/4 of the funds could be reserved for students who already attend private schools, thus taking more money away from public education. Basically, the 5-year pilot program could divert up to $1 billion in public funds to private schools by the end of the 5-year term. The Roselle Park Board of Education, with this resolution, opposes any government policy that would divert funds from the state revenue stream to private schools when sufficient revenue is not available for our own public schools finance law. And the Roselle Park Board of Education believes in school choice within the public education sector upon mutual agreement of the school boards involved. So, basically, it would fail to address the needs of those students in targeted districts who do not participate in the program, such as if these children in these school districts, they could opt out and they would get, say, a month, like $10,000 to go, and then the sending school would have to pay to transport them to that school. But what happens is, and what I've read up on as well, is if there's a child with special needs and they want to go to, say, a parochial or private school, that private school program school does not have to adhere to the state regulations that we do in the public sector. Thus, they could not accept that student, or they could accept that student, but they would not have to provide for a special needs student the way we are required by state law. So that is the opposition, basically in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next committee liaison reports. Do we have any? No? Okay. We will move on to continuing business.
Madam President, as of December 2nd, there were no additional students. We are in the process of evaluating a few, but that probably will not be resolved until the beginning of January. So to date, 5 students have been identified as not residing in Roselle Park and have thus been removed from the district.
Thank you. Any new business?
Yes, Madam President, as we have been discussing, we are looking at all options for the Early Childhood Center. As we've made the public and the board aware, our lease is up at the end of the 2012 school year. It is looking more and more problematic for a school district to purchase that building. In particular, we would be required to go to the Division of Community Affairs, known as the DCA, and we would also have to have a permission from the commissioner, and in all likelihood, we would probably have to have a public referendum on the proposal, all of which involve additional time and cost to the district, aside from just the basic purchase price. So at this point, the Board of Education would be hard-pressed to consider purchasing the facility at this time. That may be an option down the road, given additional resources and time, but for the current budget cycle, that may not be a viable option.
Thank you. Any other new business? No, at this point, then we will open public participation. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address.
Okay, Derek Sixpole, Sheriff of Roselle Park. For the record, the savings within the health plan last year was $250,000. That was from 10% down to 7%.
Exactly. That's it. See Ms. Gershow tomorrow. I can tell you that it wasn't. He was using that as a figure. It did drop. It went to 9.46%. I believe it was somewhere around 12%, and it was reduced to 9.4, which did result in approximately $250,000. But Ms. Gershow can give you those exact figures tomorrow.
Let's go back with the dates ago. When the new bleachers were replaced, lease to buy the $9,000 a month? Is that 10 months or is that 12 months?
A, it's 12 months, and B, statute is different because the Adace building is considered real property, the bleachers are considered equipment, and therefore you cannot purchase it the same way. In 1985, when the district purchased the board office, they were able to do so with district funds. If they had to do that all over again, they would not be able to do it because the laws have changed. No one is more disappointed than me.
Thank you.
Anyone else with a question or comment, please come forward.
So, here's the 150 Berwin Street.
Actually, agenda item number 22. What is the corrective action plan?
Corrective action plan results from our yearly audit where the auditors have made two recommendations for changes. A corrective action plan must be developed and submitted. The two items deal with reconciling items from previous years being corrected, and there's a plan to do that with the help of the auditor. The second one is to do monthly transfers for our grant monies in Fund 20, which are normally done. You see that in the board agenda each month for our general fund, Fund 10. Now that there's increased awareness about grant money, they're looking to follow suit with those funds as well.
That's part of what that the auditor presentation you said there was some corrective action.
Yes, that's exactly what that is in the action too. Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item number 23, just clarification. I think in October, September, the discussion of approving a month at a time. Can I just see here some of these have February 9th to March 29th.
There was a change in board policy recently, but it was not a month at a time. The change in the board policy was for requesting the usage of our gymnasiums in our various school buildings, and that was to now be done according to the new policy seasonally, and 3 seasons per year, coinciding with the traditional high school athletic season.
I think part of the issue was concern, I guess, by some that if other groups wish to use a gymnasium, that it would be taken up. But I guess it was agreed upon that it's seasonal now.
Yes.
All right. With regard to the insurance broker, Brown & Brown, I don't recall, that's why I'm asking. Does the board have a best price insurance contracting policy where I guess it's an open bid process? Is it an open bid process?
Yes.
And perhaps information to be given. A best price insurance contracting policy would mean where a broker or a carrier comes in and gives a certification that they work exclusively for the board and receive no other funds or sources from any other, be it an insurance company or some other. So I don't know if that's...
We do receive that back.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yeah, we get a letter that states that he will negotiate it out of good faith, regardless of any offer that comes forth, he will put it forth.
So no, I'm saying that he will work exclusively for the town.
Or for the district.
For the district.
Correct. That's all part of that.
And that's all proposal?
Yep.
And the last question is with regard to the Adace property. And I'm sorry if I stepped out for a minute. So what will happen if it is not paid? what happens to the early childhood development program?
That's something that the board will be discussing over the next couple of weeks. We haven't firmed up the plan yet. The law says that we are required to, and we expect to, provide education from preschool disabled students. So that's what we have. That's what would be our first priority, to make sure that those students are educated in the district.
Okay, so now you said in district, so it'll have to be provided within the district. Well,
the law says also that you have to do it in the least restrictive environment, which means that you start as many as you can in your own district, and then, like always, if we feel as if we cannot service them, then we have to look to either public places outside of district or beyond that, private out-of-district places. That's the natural sequence, right, depending on the needs of the students.
And I guess without sounding too sure anything, with regard to that, I guess, since the lease be up in June or
our lease is up June 30th. We are
June
required.
30th to September 1st.
We have to make a decision by March 30th.
Oh, you have to make a decision about the
in terms of the property, say by March 30th, the board has to commit.
And then after then, saying that it's like we said, it's not renewed, then I guess the board has to get a plan.
Correct, as to what how they're
provide
within their own facilities.
We need to start now, start planning in case it doesn't go. So we're not going to plan if it fails. We're going to start planning now. We're going to be doing both of them at the same time.
One more question regarding to the difference at the last budget with the 10% and 7%. I don't recall when that reduction came in. Did that come in at that last meeting or one of those last meetings? Or during the schools, or did it come after the budget?
It came very late. I think it was after the budget, and that's why I surfaced that question, because in all likelihood, you're going to get final quotes sometime in April, and depending on when the budget vote is, it will come after.
So what was he talking about when he said we needed information back from the insurance carrier by March?
Right. What happens is that will give their initial estimate as to what. Right. That's what their rate is. That they will guarantee it will be no higher.
So they came back in March and said that.
Correct. And then afterwards, as what happened, Oxford came in after the fact and was willing to lower their rate, so Horizon dropped their rate.
That's the
to feasible. Correct. That's correct.
We want the claims information for February, so there's no option to do it earlier than that.
Right, I was just wondering.
Right.
Well, but he was saying also, yeah, by March 15th or
whatever date he's right.
So we can give to the county for the budget.
Right, correct, because that needs to be put into the budget.
Right.
But that was
that's still a worst case scenario.
Right, worst case scenario.
That was the ceiling.
That's correct.
Which that was the 12% that he gave us last year.
Right.
Okay, right. And then it came in at 9.64 or whatever, working out to it. Okay. That's where it happened, because it was after the fact. Well, we budgeted for 12.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else with a comment or question? Seeing none, I close the public participation of our meeting. And at this point, I believe we are done. Our next scheduled meeting is January 3rd, 2012 at Robert Gordon School. So on behalf of the board, I wish everyone a healthy and happy holiday season and a wonderful new year. And at this point, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Before we do that, one notation here asked about the items discussed in executive session earlier in the meeting. And one of the additional items was matters of attorney-client privilege. I don't believe I mentioned that.
May I have a motion to adjourn? Second. Chris, thank you very much. We are adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful holiday.